Oh, there. Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Wow, you guys got here quickly and on time. I appreciate you. I'm Mrs. Bikandu, one of the college advisors. We're so glad you joined us for our virtual college fair. We're just going to go over very quick rules, and then we're going to turn it over to the colleges to tell you all about their institutions. So how do you ask questions? You go to the Q&A button, type your question. You can type it while the presenter is talking, but they will wait to answer it at the end. And then we'll have about 10 minutes at the end to also ask questions of everyone. You know the drill by now. Please turn off your camera and your microphone. The reps will not see you. You can sign up for more sessions. And we will have a recording of this. It's recording right now. So you'll get to watch it over and over again if you'd like to. If you're like, I'm not sure what that rep from Wesleyan said. Let me go back and look at that. You can do that. So without any further ado, we are going to start in California with Ty from the University of California, Davis. Take it away, Ty.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, thank you for joining us today. So my name is Ty Wu. I am the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Recruitment here at UC Davis. First off, when I talk about Davis, as you guys probably know, we're part of the world we know University of California system. We are one of the older campus in the UC system. Our campus started in 1905. Some of the rankings that we are known around the US and the world, we actually started out as an agriculture campus of UC Berkeley. So with that said, of course, our background is very strong in agriculture and environmental science. We're #1 in the nation for that, #1 in the world for veterinary science. Overall, we are ranked as the 5th best public university in the United States. We have a 20-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So even though we're a large university, we still have a pretty low student to faculty ratio on our campus. We are also the 3rd greenest university in the world. We're very big on sustainability at UC Davis. We have a biodigester on our campus that has the ability to turn 50% of the food waste in our dining common into renewable energy for the campus. And we're also very big on bicycles. So our campus is the largest campus land-wise in the UC system. So on a typical day, it would you would see around 20,000 bikes on campus. We're actually known as the biking capital of the world. So if you have classes across campus, it might take you 45 minutes to walk across campus. So the easiest way to get around our campus is on a bicycle. Even as professional staff, I have a bicycle on campus as well. So a bicycle is one of the easiest way to get around our campus. And we are a true college town. So that's one of the biggest unique characteristic difference between UC Davis and our other sister UC campuses. We are the only campus in the UC system that's located in a true college town. The city of Davis has around 65,000 residents. Half of those residents are college students. So as you can see here on this slide, a quarter of the UC Davis campus is already the size of downtown Davis. Downtown Davis is located 1 block right off campus. So it's very easy for students to get off campus and go into downtown Davis. There's lots of eateries, lots of coffee shop, boba shop for students to go and hang out, study. So it's everything about the city of Davis revolves around the campus. So everywhere you go throughout the city of Davis, you're going to see college students. So we are a true college town, but we're not a small campus. I always tell students, always think, oh, you guys are a college town, you're a small campus. No, we are not. We're a Division I campus with over 31,000 undergraduate students. If you include our graduate students, we have over 40,000 students on our campus. Where are we located? That's another question that I get a lot from students. We are located in Northern California, the northern part of the state of California, right next to the state capital, Sacramento. To the west of us is San Francisco, and then to the east of us is beautiful Lake Tahoe. So centrally located to all of the major attractions throughout California. If you love the city life, San Francisco is a quick hour-and-a-half drive away. if you are an outdoor person, Lake Tahoe has some of the world's most beautiful snow ski resorts, campgrounds, and hiking trails. And then Yosemite is 3 hours to the southeast of us. We have 4 different colleges for students, 4 different colleges that houses over 102 majors for students to select from. The College of Engineering is our most competitive college to get into. And then the College of Letters and Science is our largest college on our campus. And then Biological Science houses all of our biology major, and the College of Ag and Environmental Science houses a lot of our environmental, animal science, landscape architect, and human development majors. So overall, as I mentioned, UC Davis is a college town. And with that said, we're very big on student life. We have over 800 student clubs and organizations on our campus. We are a Tier 1 research university. 70% of our undergraduate participate in research prior to graduating. And even though, like I mentioned earlier, we are a big university, 62% of our undergraduate classes have fewer than 30 students on our per classroom. And some of the most popular major on our campus are our psychology, our managerial economics, which is our business economics business program, our MPB, neurobiology and physiology major, biological science, communications, and then as I mentioned, animal science is very popular on our campus as well. We are a Division I school for sports. We play in 25 Division I sports. So one of the best thing about UC Davis and myself being an alumni at UC Davis is that all of our home sporting events are free to UC Davis students. So you will never have to pay to go to any of our home sporting events. And I guarantee you, not a lot of Division I school will allow that for their students. So that's one of the benefits that I really enjoyed when I was a student at UC Davis. So that pretty much concludes this presentation. With that said, I would like to pass this on to my colleague from Harvard University Alumni.
Thank you, Ty. Appreciate that. Hi, everyone. My name is Mateus Fauci. I am a American Heritage Plantation alumni from the class of 2010 and a Harvard University alumnus from the class of 2014. So I am an alumni rep. I'm not an admissions rep like the colleagues that are here today. So my presentation is going to be focused on giving you some advice because I was once in your shoes as a high school student at American Heritage, thinking about college applications, what to do in high school, and so forth. So everything you're seeing today is straight from Harvard's admissions website. I picked out some of the things I think are important to share with you all, but feel free to just log in and do some digging on your own. I really encourage it. There's a lot of good things on this website. So let's get started. So here's a homepage for the admissions website showing the beautiful quad, which is where the upperclassmen live, where I happen to live during my 3 later years at Harvard. And I want to start by looking at the page called What We Look For. So this is a list of questions here on Harvard's admissions website. And I want to draw your attention first to the statement at the top that says, there is no such thing as a typical Harvard student. So that's a really important thing to remember, right? There's this pressure of like, well, people who go to Harvard have X, Y, and Z things checked off. And that's just not the case, right? There is really no such thing as a typical Harvard student. So a lot of these questions are really good to think about depending on what year you are in high school. If you're a freshman or sophomore, you might be looking at these questions and say, okay, these are good things to get me thinking about what I should be doing with my time, what I should be doing with my academic course load, what I should be doing with my extracurriculars. If you're a junior or a senior who's completing their application, it's a really useful list to look at and say, hey, what have I done already that answers these questions? So let me just pick out a few of my favorites here that I think really show you know, some of the questions that Harvard admissions officers are interested in having you answer. So things like, do you have initiative? Are you a self-starter? What motivates you? In your interests and activities, do you care deeply about anything? Intellectual, extracurricular, personal. Mind you, they're not saying, hey, have you done X, Y, and Z club, but rather they're saying, hey, what do you care about? And what have you done in that interest that you care so deeply about, right? Going on to personal character. What choices have you made for yourself? Why? How open are you to new ideas and people? And this is all contributing to Harvard's job of basically creating a freshman class that is supportive of one another and is diverse in thinking, and really is going to create a special Harvard community. Moving on, let's get to some more specifics based on questions that I've had from you and students like you in past college fairs. Thinking about your course load. So this is in application requirements. Harvard's saying, what courses should I take to prepare for applying to Harvard? And keep in mind that first line right there says there is no one-size-fits-all rule about which curriculum to study. So, you might think, well, I need to take as many APs as possible, or I need to do this much so-and-so and this thing and such. You need to keep in mind that, yes, a certain level of academic rigor and challenging yourself is expected, of course, but you need to shape a schedule that rounds nicely with your commitments outside of academic commitments. So that includes part-time employment maybe, or your community service, or extracurriculars, or sports, or arts, whatever, right? Keep that in mind, that it's not just a race to cram your GPA as high as you can with AP courses, but rather think about creating a nice collective schedule that really shows who you are and what your interests are beyond academics. Moving on to application tips. Speaking of activities, I was a heritage student, like I said before, and I know what it's like to want to be in a bunch of clubs and be on, have board positions in those clubs, president, vice president, whatever it might be. There's nothing wrong with that, but do keep in mind that it is important that you have a smaller number of things that really, really, really illustrate your involvement and your passion. So one answer that I want to point out to you here is that Harvard says, you should think about the activities that you care most about and devote most of your time doing and list those. So that's really important to remember when you're applying, right? Don't just think about, hey, look at this incredible list of all the things I've done, but focus on the things that you've shown that really matter to you and how those have been good opportunities for you to be a positive contributor to your community. Finally, a tip to you all, you can sign up right here for the information request form. That'll put you on Harvard's admissions and financial aid mailing list, and also they'll send you a PDF of their brochure. I'm going to put my contact info up right here if you want to take a screenshot and send me an email. I'm always open. And as a Heritage alumnus, I need to add this special note. Listen to your guidance counselors. They are the best in the business. I would not have made it to Harvard without their help. They are wonderful. They have great advice. They kept me, knowledgeable of everything that was going on, everything I needed to be doing for my application. So really rely on them. They are a great resource. And I'd like to hand it off now to my colleague from Roger Williams. Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Mateos. That was awesome. So good afternoon. My name is Tanya Hurtado. I am one of the assistant directors at Roger Williams, and I recruit primarily in the Florida and the South area of the country. So I also did graduate from Roger Williams in 2012. So I also do know what it's like to be on our campus. So Roger Williams is located in Bristol, Rhode Island. So the smallest state in the country for sure. We are about 3 hours away from Boston, 45 to an hour from Boston. Sorry, I meant 3 hours from New York, 45 minutes from Boston, and about 20 minutes from Newport. Some of you may be familiar with Newport, or might have heard of it in the past. Definitely a high touristy area in the summer. So I'm just showing you a quick overview of what our campus looks like. So we have about 4,300 undergraduate students. So we are a little bit of a smaller, smaller campus. And we do, as you can see on the screen in front of you, we do have a School of Law right on campus. We are the only law school in the state of Rhode Island. So we also do have some accelerated programs for masters if that's something that some of you may be interested in. And we do have a small campus in the downtown area of Providence, which is the capital of Rhode Island, for local students who are from the nearby areas like southeastern Massachusetts and so forth. So in combination, we have about 7,000 students. So it's big enough where you're never going to know everyone, but small enough where you definitely do get to build strong relationships. We do value the small classroom setting. So typically our students you'll have about 19 students in a classroom. Faculty members do get to know you. And as you can see on the screen, we do have a variety of different programs. So a little bit of something for everyone, 50 majors, over 70 minors. Students can apply directly into either the School of Architecture, School of Engineering, Construction Management, or you can come in undecided if you're not sure what you want to do just yet. All of our students have until the end of their sophomore year to explore different things, to be exposed to new programs that you might have never thought of or considered before. We do value the hands-on experience on campus, so our students are heavily involved through giving back into the local community. All of our students actually, when they come in as a freshman, the first Monday, we don't have classes. We break them up into smaller groups and we send them out into a community day of service all around the southeastern part of Massachusetts, all around Rhode Island. And the point of that is to get them into the habit of doing that, because they're gonna be doing a lot of service projects throughout their time. And it's also a nice way to kind of break the ice, get to know folks from other majors, but also to get to know the nearby areas around the campus. Bristol's definitely a beautiful town. It holds the oldest 4th of July parade in the country. So definitely attracts a lot of tourists, especially during the spring and summertime. We also offer classes where we call them CPC. So essentially those are classes where instead of you learning from a PowerPoint, a lecture, you're working with a real client, and throughout a semester, you're executing a project that organization will get to utilize. And we don't only focus on nonprofits. You could be working in an architecture studio class. Architecture is one of our primary focuses at Roger Williams, where you are actually working on a real project. We've had teaching firms that come in and, you know, a lot of it is virtual right now. So you won't get to travel to like New York or Boston for the time being, but when there's no pandemic, you can. You'll be able to travel and work and see different sites and work with architects on real projects. We do also have them across all different disciplines. So it's not just for architecture or some of the STEM related programs, which tend to be our most popular majors on campus, like marine biology is a big one, especially being right on the water. But then we also have the study abroad component. And this is something that's super popular on the campus. Half of our student body does go somewhere at some point. We provide a variety of options from the semester long programs, a year, or you can go your freshman year. Right at the end of your first semester, you can go for a month or 3 weeks with a group of 10 to 15 students and travel to Jamaica, travel to Guatemala, Dominican Republic. We work with about 40 different countries for 40 different majors. So I'm sure that there's something that you might like. And it's also a good way to determine if studying abroad is something that you even want to consider for the future later on in your studies. The other thing that is unique, we don't have teacher assistants on campus, so our students are able to do graduate level research at the undergrad time, and those are all paid positions. We have a variety of different options where you could be working on childhood development, psychology matters, and travel down to Jamaica and work one-on-one with kids. Or you could be looking at different Parkinson's disease treatments to see how they're impacting patients. And you can start doing those as early as the end of your freshman year. So definitely nice way to know that you'll be able to have those hands-on opportunities. And then of course we do have internships like a lot of the other institutions here do. With us, you are able to do them in-house, or you can travel and do one in Australia if that's something that you wanted to pursue. Here's just a quick sample of some of the different companies where our students go on to work for upon graduation. And okay, so my time is almost up. If you are interested, we are going to be hosting a Florida night in the next couple of weeks. So I would love to connect with some of you. And now I would like to turn it over to my colleague May from Georgetown. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and get my screen up here. I know we're trying to stay on time. Wonderful. Hello all, my name is May Hinton and I am one of the Associate Directors of Undergraduate Admissions at Georgetown University. And please let me welcome you to the Washington, D.C. area and Georgetown. So I always like to start any session talking about Georgetown with our history. We were actually founded back in 1789. Georgetown is the oldest Catholic Jesuit school in the nation. We've actually been pluralistic since our beginnings, which means that Georgetown was the first American university to really specifically and openly welcome students from all religious backgrounds. Now, the Georgetown campus is relatively compact, only about 110 acres. We are located along the Potomac River, as you can see here, and our campus is home, when we're on campus, to about 7,000 undergraduate students from all 50 states and about 130 countries. Now, Georgetown embraces two Jesuit principles that we feel like are very important and kind of serve as guideposts for our entire community. So one, being men and women for others, and two, care of the whole person. So these are two universal kind of grounding concepts that really connect all of our students, regardless of their faith background. We really are a school that prioritizes the free exchange of ideas and strives for a more just world. A strong sense of social justice is our foundation, and Georgetown students are really going to be shaped by that philosophy. Now, inside and outside of the classroom, Georgetown students are being taught by some of the world's most influential figures. You might recognize a couple of faces up here. Our faculty and guest speakers are really committed to teaching undergraduate students to truly be leaders in their fields. I thought you might also be interested in knowing that Georgetown students are still getting the great benefits of our speaker series, even while we are in a virtual learning environment. So two examples. Students had the chance to listen in on a conversation with Dr. Anthony Fauci just this past July. If you're not familiar with him, he's kind of the leading coronavirus White House doctor. So our students were actually able to connect with him during this current pandemic. Our students also heard from two former secretaries of state, so Hillary Clinton and Madeleine Albright, who spoke at a virtual event. This was for our Institute for Women, Peace, and Security. This was just last month in September. We feel like living in Washington, D.C., our Georgetown students take full advantage of the city around them. So students love visiting the Smithsonian, the National Archives, the Kennedy Center, where they can actually get discounted tickets on performances. So we just had Hamilton and Dear Evan Hansen. And then we were just about to start Swan Lake just as the pandemic was starting. So unfortunately, that's been put on hold for now, but hopefully we'll be back on very soon. And our students have access to 3 international airports nearby. So I always say it's very easy to get in and out of Washington, D.C. The Georgetown campus is actually less than 2 miles to the National Mall, which is home to many of the nation's most historic landmarks, including the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and the White House. And then, of course, speaking of the White House, as a Georgetown student, you're pretty much guaranteed to see at least one presidential inauguration during your 4 undergraduate years with us. So very, very exciting for our students. I'll also mention that Georgetown students can participate in major protests if they want to. I'm sure everybody remembers March for Our Lives. I know especially in Florida, a very, very important protest here for students in Florida. A lot of students came up to the Washington, D.C. area for this march against gun violence, and they were very, very active with that. There were actually a lot of Georgetown students who were very active with this march as well. A lot of students were not able to get transportation in D.C. that day. It was really kind of a madhouse. So they made their signs on campus and then they marched over to the National Mall, as I mentioned, only about 2 miles away from the campus, and they were able to participate in that pretty transformative march experience just about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. At Georgetown, I'll note that we have 4 undergraduate schools listed here. I'm going to go over them just really, really quickly. Our oldest and largest undergraduate school is Georgetown College. So about half of the undergraduate population at Georgetown falls within Georgetown College. And about half of the students who are part of Georgetown College are going to study humanities and social sciences. Still within the college, we offer hard sciences such as biology and chemistry. And then we also have our Faculty of Languages and Linguistics, or FLL as we like to call it. We also have our School of Nursing and Health Studies. That's our second oldest school. Students who are part of NHS are going to have access to the Georgetown Medical Center, where they can gain a lot of real-life medical experience. Third school I want to talk about is the School of Foreign Service. It's actually the oldest and largest school of international relations in the United States. Actually predates the founding of the U.S. Foreign Service by about 5 years. We feel like it kind of demonstrates our forward thinking even back then. And then lastly, our youngest undergraduate school is the McDonough School of Business. And for the business schools, business school students are really going to focus on the global economy and business fundamentals. It's important to note the 4 schools because when you apply to Georgetown, you do apply directly for one of our 4 undergraduate schools. It's also important to note that Georgetown does not accept the common application or the coalition application. We have our own unique application. We really believe that by having our own application, it allows us to better evaluate applicants and really focus on applicants who have a true interest in Georgetown. It's also good to note that we have 2 application rounds. So early action, the deadline for which is November 1. You'll get a decision of either admit or defer into regular decision by mid-December. We do not deny any students during the EA round. And we also have regular decision, the deadline for which is January 10, and you will hear from us by April 1 with the decision of admit, waitlist, or unfortunately deny. We do not have any minimum GPA or standardized test score cutoffs. We really do want to review each applicant fully. I'll go ahead and wrap up because I know I'm almost out of time here. I'll just note for Georgetown, our testing policy is going to be flexible this year. We're still asking for the SAT or the ACT, but we are not going to penalize anybody who doesn't have that if they're not able to take it due to the current pandemic. So don't worry if you don't have testing this year. Thank you for listening to this very brief overview of Georgetown. And now I will go ahead and turn things over to my colleague from Wesleyan.
I just want to jump in real quick too. We are doing fine with time, so nobody worry. We're good. We're a little ahead of schedule. So thanks, everyone. Yasmin, are you able to share?
No. Let me see if I can.
There you
Good
go.
now. Good,
Perfect.
thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Jasmine Pineda. I'm admissions counselor with Wesleyan College, actually the first women college in the world since 1836. Where is Wesleyan College located? We're located in Macon, Georgia, 90 miles south of Atlanta, between Atlanta and Savannah. This is a small campus map that we have. So we have a really nice, beautiful, cozy campus with walkable distance everywhere around the campus. And we have apartments and dormitories in the surrounding areas of our campus. Talking about our admissions process, we have a free online application and we are part of Common App as well. And for this 2021, due to the pandemic, we have to be test optional. You don't need essay and no recommendation letters unless you are applying for our pre-nursing program, and we require an official high school transcript. 99 of our Wesleyan students receive some from financial merit scholarships. And our merit scholarships are from $12,000 to $15,000 per year. So we have the Premier Full Tuition Scholarship, and our tuition for this next coming year is of $25,191. And undocumented students can compete for the international scholarships. Sorry. We do have 24 majors, 35 minors, 9 pre-track programs, and our student ratio is 13 to 1, and our average class size is 15. And we have top 5 majors that I can mention to you. They're nursing, psychology, business administration with different concentrations. We have biology and elementary education. Wesleyan College, we do have 23 clubs and organizations. We have academic support where we provide reading, writing, and tutoring, disability service, and equity and inclusion group to support all our students and all the international learning opportunities as well. So Wesleyan have a great international community. 17% of our students body are international students, and 12% of our students are Hispanic students. And we have different destinations where our students can go and do some study abroad. And you can have different plans of travel options, and you can plan to have a short trip with our faculty. You can do a study abroad for 1 semester, 2 semesters, or you can do some internships as well. We are Division 3, and we have softball, soccer, basketball, cross country, volleyball, track, and we have equestrian team. Our barn is inside to the campus, so it's really nice and cool to be able to have the barns and horses, inside to our campus. So we have from here to career, so it's a 4-year plan where our students will be able to have experimental learning, personalizing career coaching, and appointments, and different type of resources to help with all your internships that you need to have. Wesleyan College, we are offering this year virtual visits, on-campus personalized visits, and we are having 2 preview days. One is this coming Saturday, and the next one is for November. So we are offering different options for visits. If you guys would like to connect with me and have a virtual visit, you're more than welcome to do it, or you can go and have the access direct to our webpage and schedule an in-person visit. So we will be very happy to hear back from you. You can go to our webpage, complete our inquiry card information, and you will be able to connect with us.
Are you all set with your presentation?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Great. That's okay. Thank you so much. We're doing great on time. But up next, we do have Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York. So take it away, Marist. We're going to give you a second to switch the screen there.
Yep.
Your time won't start yet.
Sorry, I forgot to introduce you.
It's okay.
That's okay. No worries at all.
There we go.
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Chris Doyle. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admission at Marist College. And hopefully you can see my screen here. What I'm going to go through is just a brief presentation just to give you a sense of Marist. Well, we are located right in the Hudson River Valley of New York. So we are directly between Albany, New York and New York City. It's a beautiful location this time of the year, especially. It's just absolutely amazing to be here on the Hudson. And this is just to give you a sense of what the campus looks like. So the facilities themselves are state-of-the-art, the technology state-of-the-art, and we do have riverfront access for one of our 23 Division I teams, which is our rowing team. It is a historic campus and primarily residential. So the residence halls were actually recently featured on Good Morning America for some of the best residence halls in the country, but they're home to over 80% of our 5,000 undergraduate students and 96% of all of our freshmen students. So the majority of students absolutely live on campus, and we're fortunate with our location that we do have direct access into New York City by both Amtrak and Metro North, which affords our students hundreds of opportunities every semester in terms of internships and research, and also just fun events that are taking place in the city. So if you look at how many of our students are here, we have just over 5,000 undergrads, as I said. You have 40 different majors to choose from. The academic boundaries at the college are very fluid. So unlike some other colleges and universities where you are kind of grounded in the school that you've declared a major in, at Marist, you will declare your major and you will also have opportunities to pursue double majors, minors, and certificate programs in the other academic schools. So out of the 6 schools on campus, many of our students are participating in majors and minors that are within disparate schools. We do have graduate programs as well. There's 15 programs, including physician's assistant and doctorate in physical therapy programs, as well as graduate degrees in technology areas. Our classrooms here are diverse, so you will be with students from all over the United States and from around the world. Our freshman students represent 47 states and 64 countries. And that's very important to us because part of the mission of the college is to provide our students with a global perspective. And one of the best ways that we can do that is by surrounding them with people from all over the country and around the world who have different perspectives from the ones that they come to the college with. Your classes here will be no bigger than 35 students. That is the cap. The average is 24, and 100% of your classes will be taught by faculty. For us, that is very important, and we intentionally hire faculty who are academics, but also have professional experience in the fields they're educating students about. And the reason for that is so that we can bridge the theory with the actual practice, so that when you leave the college or you go to an internship site or do research, you have a better understanding of how the theory is applied in the real world versus being strictly a theoretical experience. Majors that are offered and programs that are offered are listed here. There's quite a few, so I won't spend much time on those. But regardless of what program you're majoring in, one of the things that you're guaranteed at the college is a very hands-on experience. We are actually one of the 50 colleges in the country noted by the Princeton Review for going beyond the walls of the classroom. So in terms of experience with undergraduate research, Marist students actually are funded to do undergraduate research. That's very uncommon. Most institutions' undergraduate research is not funded. Marist puts hundreds of thousands of dollars into undergraduate funded research experiences every single year. As I said, your classes will be small, so they'll be discussion based and give you lots of opportunities to explore things beyond the syllabus, what's actually called for, right? You're going way beyond just the basics that the faculty members have designed the course to do. The technology that's integrated into this experience is by design related to the fields that you're studying, so that your learning curve leaving the college is much shorter, whether you're at an internship or as a new employee, is much shorter than some of your peers who may not have used that technology and software and not have those capabilities prior to leaving their institution. It's a very busy campus. Even now, we reopened in July. 95% of our classes are happening on ground in the classroom. Our campus visit programs started back up in July as well. And so it's a really active campus. Students want to be here and they want to be active and engaged, not only with the college, but with their peers and friends. And so there are hundreds of clubs and organizations for them to be involved in, and new ones that begin every single year on campus. In terms of our deadlines, we have three. So we have November 15th, which is our early decision and our early action deadline. We also have an early decision 2 deadline on February 1st, and March 1st is our regular decision deadline. So just to give you a sense of our profile of accepted students, you can see that all listed there. Marist has been test optional for a decade. I always like to say we were test optional before it was the cool thing to do, and it didn't take a pandemic to make it happen. You know, we've been test optional for quite a long time, and we really believe that a student's high school transcript, co-curricular and extracurricular experiences help to inform us as to how successful they would be at the college. And 10 years of our own research has proved that to be accurate. So if you haven't taken an SAT because you couldn't or date was canceled, don't worry about it. You know, we will not need that for you. So that concludes my presentation. At this point, we are going to open it up to Q&A. So please feel free to ask as many questions as you have for myself and my other colleagues representing the other colleges and universities that are here today. Thank you.
We do have a question for Georgetown. Do you see that, May?
Let me see. Yes, I wasn't sure if it was only coming to me. I'd be more than happy to answer this live. So Rachel asking, for Georgetown, I know that you have to demonstrate proficiency in a modern language. Are students allowed to take classes for multiple language at one time? And so Rachel, great question. Just to clarify, this language proficiency that we have is actually just for our School of Foreign Service, SFS, that I talked about or School of International Relations at Georgetown. So that's the only one that requires proficiency in a modern language other than English upon graduation. But absolutely, students are allowed to take classes in multiple languages. Maybe you speak Spanish at home and you'd like to take a couple of Spanish classes in college, but you're also trying to learn French as well while you're at Georgetown. By all means, you can take multiple language classes while you're actually at Georgetown.
All right, there's another one for Georgetown and Harvard.
Yeah. Maybe I can just
going,
read it
May?
off since
Sure.
I'm unmuted. So Nicholas wants to know, for Georgetown and Harvard, do you offer an accelerated pre-medical program? So Mateus, you want to start that off and then I can fill in?
Yeah, to my knowledge, no, Harvard does not offer an accelerated pre-med program.
Yeah, and so for Georgetown, it's similar. We don't have an accelerated pre-medical program. What we have is an early assurance program, EAP. This would be applying to Georgetown Medical School in your sophomore year. If you were admitted, then yay, you know that you're going to medical school nice and early, but you also want to have to take the MCAT. So not so much an accelerated program, but an early assurance program.
Perfect. Oh, Georgetown, you're very popular.
Apparently. Okay. All right. I'll take one more here. For Georgetown, I know that you said that there is a different application, but what components exactly are different from the Common App? Are the regulations about early decision the same? So great question. I mentioned that Georgetown has its own application, unique from the Common Application or the Coalition application. The components are actually very similar to those other common application formats. It's more so that we've had our own unique application to really encourage students to think carefully about whether or not they want to apply to Georgetown. We're actually not trying to get as many students as possible to apply. We want students to think very carefully about whether or not they want to put in the effort to complete our application and then decide if Georgetown is worth it for them. We actually are looking to keep our numbers smaller and more manageable. That's how we're able to offer interviews to all of our first year students, keeping our numbers a bit smaller. And then specifically addressing our early program, we actually do not have early decision, we have early action. And so that's the non-binding one. So non-binding early program, early decision is a binding program. Essentially our only caveat with applying early action to Georgetown is you can't apply to an early decision school because that's a binding commitment. If you're accepted early decision to another school, you'd be bound to go to that school, so you want to be able to accept our offer of admission. So that's a really quick response just to give other people some time, but you can always email me later for longer discussion.
Why don't we have Marist answer and then we'll go back to you, May.
All right, great. So this question is from Angelica. This is what is the annual cost of tuition and housing? And do you have any information on scholarship opportunities? So specifically for Marist, the cost of tuition and room and board is $58,810 for the year. In terms of scholarships, every student who applies to the college is automatically considered for merit-based scholarships. So Marist does offer merit-based scholarships in addition to need-based scholarships and awards. So that is something that students are eligible for. Applying for need-based aid, we require the FAFSA. We do not require the CSS profile, so you only need to complete the FAFSA, and you will be considered for need-based aid. But every student is eligible for up to $25,000 in merit awards simply by applying to the college, and you'll be notified of that if you are accepted to the college, what merit scholarship you have received.
Perfect. Back to you, May.
All right, there are a couple that I'm just going to kind of do rapid fire here, asking about research in the School of Foreign Service. The best answer I can just give is yes, there are a lot of research opportunities across all of our schools, medical research, internships, and then also for the School of Foreign Service, there are going to be some international relations types of research, so data, humanities, etc. A lot of different research opportunities. If you check our website or email me afterwards, I can give you you some links specific to that. Also for the School of Foreign Service, can you take classes kind of across the schools? Can you be more than, kind of past the School of Foreign Service? Absolutely. A lot of cross-registration across the School of Foreign Service and the college. So within the School of Foreign Service, about 70% of your classes are actually going to be cross-registered with Georgetown College. You're allowed to take classes actually across all 4 of the schools, regardless of which one you started. For Georgetown, or I'd say any of our schools, if you're interested in law, I feel like you need to think about what major is really best for you. We always see students applying for law school from everywhere. So you could be more interested in medicine in your undergrad and then actually end up going to law school. People change their minds, move around. I'd say the best thing you can do is just always keep your academics up. For law school, medical school, any graduate program, you just need to do well academically in your undergraduate studies. And then with the supplemental question asking about special talents, it's up to you. We see stories, we see bullet points, we see that section blank, we see a couple of words there. It's whatever your creative talent wants to manifest there. So there's not one right way to fill out that section. Really, that's up to you completely. And then the last question here, is there a section to add additional information on the Georgetown application, like the Common App? We actually don't have a specific section for that, but where you upload the resume, you could always upload an extra sheet of additional information. That was rapid fire.
Wow, you're bravo. Well, bravo to all of you. I want to go to every school. And Marist is on my daughter's list, although she's only 11. But I love all of them. I learned something about each of you. And thank you for this format. I feel like we did a great job. And again, I hope all of our students will take what you said. Thank you. You put your email in there. If anyone else wants to pop their email in there, but we also have it in Naviance. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Hope your campuses are thriving and you have a great admission season. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye, everyone.
Bye, thank you.
Go to another session.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye, guys.